Hey, how's it going? And today I'm going to be talking about the book Dune. Dune is a science fiction novel written by American author Frank Herbert. First published in 1965, it is the first novel in a series of 6 books collectively known as Dune Chronicles or Dune Sage. The book is set in the distant future where noble families control various planets, and the most valuable substance in the universe is melange, commonly referred to the spice, which has numerous mystical and practical properties. Overall, I'm interested in this book, but in particular, I had finished reading it perhaps a couple weeks ago, and I would highly recommend for everyone to read it, as well as it's a good novel, as well as my own understanding and the way I was thinking while reading it, and the way how people manage water in dystopian Dune environment. A lot of people should manage money in that particular environment. That's my own understanding and the lens in which I was reading this particular book. I find it interesting. Overall book was very interesting. In the world of Dune, the noble families play a central role in politicals, economics, and a social structure of the universe. They are known as great houses, and each great house control one or more planets. These planets are essentially fiefs that they rule over and from which they extract various resources. Let me share some of the examples of what they control. House of Atreides. At the beginning of the novel, Dune, House Atreides is granted control of the desert planet Arrakis by the Belgian emperor. Arrakis is the only known source of the spice melange, which is the most valuable substance in the universe due to its various properties, including extended life and enhanced mental abilities. House Atreides takes over spice mining operations on Arrakis and thus gains control over this highly sought after resource. House House Harkonnens is a long-standing rival of House Atreides. They had previously controlled Harkonnens before House Atreides, and they are determined to regain control of the planet. These Harkonnens are known for their rituals and oppressive rule, and they have exploited the people of Harkonnens in generations. House House Corino holds the imperial throne and its leader in the Padishan Emperor. While they do not control specific planets like Arcanins, they hold immense power and influence over the entire universe. They often manipulate the Great House to maintain the grip of the throne. House Ordos, although not prominent as the Atreides, Harkons, or Horinons, House Ordos is mentioned in some adaptations and spin-offs material related to Dune universe. They are known for their secretive and mercantile nature, often involved in various economic schemes. Other houses in the Dune universe, there are numerous other great houses, each control one or more planets. These houses they have their own unique resources, political agendas, and alliances. They may engage in alliances, rivalries, and conflicts with one another. Control over the planets and resources is a key element of political and economic power struggle in the Dune series. The spice melange found only on Arcanins is driving force behind the actions and ambitions of these great houses, or as it is as central to interstellar trade over the planetary trade and overall commerce, and the longevity of the ruling class. The dynamics between those houses from the backdrop to the complex and multi-layered story of the Dune. I would like to share with you my book. I have released the book. The name of the book is Game Strategy. In the book, I'm sharing a lot of information about what everyone would need to know when starting and launching your business. Everything is shared within the details that would be easy to understand for many people, of how to structure your company, what you would need to know about the overall business, different industries, and your mindset. I think if not, feel free to reach out to me if you believe there are any changes that would be needed to be made. But other than that, I believe that would be a tool that you can definitely should have, especially down the line. It will save you a lot of money, which is important thing. You can follow a link in the description and purchase this book on the company's website. Thank you. Overall, one of the points worth mentioning, myself, I'm always been interested in overall strategy, and there were numerous of games launched on this particular storyline. Just to name the few games, that would be Dune 1992, Dune 2, Building of Dynasty, released on 1992, Emperor, Battle for Dune 2001, Frank Herbert's Dune 2001 and Dune 2000. I believe there was some issues with copyright overall and purchasing and selling license into overall story of the Dune. Perhaps that was one of the reasons why ourselves we didn't have all that much opportunities to play more games with this particular storyline. But overall, in particular, I would like to talk about Dune 2 and my own personal experience. Dune 2, game released in Europe, is a real-time strategy game, video game developed in Westwood Studios and published by Virgin Interactive. It was released in 1992 and it is considered one of the pioneers titles that helped establish the modern real-time strategy games. Let me share some examples of the gameplay. Faction selection in Dune 2, player can choose from and control one of those factors, houses Atreides, House Harkonnens, or House Ordos. Each faction has its own unique units, structures, and buildings. The choice of factions influence the player's strategy and playstyle. Since they're within the factions, I don't know if any of you had a chance of playing that particular game. uh, People are playing video games downstairs. But either way, yeah, so within every faction, there were different units, and you had to adapt your strategy accordingly with the units that you had access to, as well as resource management within the game. You had to control different units, as well as collecting spice and managing resources, buildings, and attacking enemy bases and building base overall, and how you structure some of the resources, including energy, tactical combat overall, and how AI control opponents, tech tree, how you evolve and do your own research and development within the game. Uh, some of the interesting factors within the game was a random unit that was moving in the sandstorms and potentially swallowing some of the units. And I remember paying if it would normally swallow within the game about 3 units, vehicles, not necessarily military or infantry units. So instead of constantly keeping track of where that random unit is, you can either feed that unit to swallow free military vehicles, or perhaps keep a track of that as one of those things to take a notice. Either way, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.